Okay, I'll try to do the the Russian perspective, but I may have to chop it up into two videos due to the fact that, well, there's so many armies, and to be honest with you, they're having a lot of different fortunes or whatever happening right now. Like, yeah, some of them are not in such good shape, and other ones seem to be doing great. Anyways, yeah, I'll go, in advancing numerical order here, there. So what did I write down for the first army? Hold on, I'm going to grab my little notebook. Yeah, there's one thing I'm doing. So I never have both armies, like opposing armies, with their blocks off at the same time. The only time you would ever see blocks off for opposing armies would just be for combats, and that's so I take them off when I go to do my moves and so on and so forth, but for one side, but I just like that yet again for I don't know what's on the other side, and if my memory can't, I mean, there's sometimes I'm like, okay, I know for a fact that's a cavalry and whatever, but for the rest of it I'm like, well, I can't remember how damaged they are and what their strength was exactly, and I like that. It's yeah, it's enjoyable. Okay, so what did I say for the first army? Yeah, very positive outlook, that's for sure, I'll tell you that much. There's reinforcements coming from Kovno and Grodno, and hopefully more on the way. That's one thing I'm noticing about the Russians right now. I'm kind of like, geez, like, let's, the party keep going here, and more reinforcements. It's lovely. All the units are in supply. I can't believe how close we are to Königsberg, and most of the resistance has been pretty light. And yeah, I feel like the first army is getting their way, so not too bad. The second army, I would say cautiously optimistic, not as I was probably more pessimistic at earlier on, especially when that horrible unsupplied attack in around Niedenberg went. Oh God, what a mess that was! But I feel a little bit better now that everybody's more or less in supply, I think, and we're getting into better defensible terrain. And there were some reinforcements that arrived from Warsaw, and well, they're not going to be so happy to find out in the long run when that 2/3 of these reinforcements that were supposed to go to Warsaw and then to them are actually going to be peeled off and sent to the Fifth Army over here, because they're in a lot of trouble. So yeah, that's those guys. Now we'll go off to the Third Army, which is over here. These guys, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about these guys as well. I mean, they've got some great defensible terrain. Everybody's in supply. Okay, maybe it's not so nice that the Austrians got around the left flank here, but it's not the end of the world. In that we do still have some cavalry here, and moderately worried about my left flank, I guess. But if everything goes we do have a nice little here. We're very, very close to the border. We're behind the river, not the end of the world. I don't think we're going to go gung ho towards Lemberg right off the bat. I think that's what I said. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I think we're going to progress towards Lemberg. It's just not going to be like, in like 5 seconds flat kind of thing. So that'll be that. The Fourth Army are way over here, and I'm feeling relatively good due to the fact that, I mean, we're behind the army. We've got a fallback spot of Radom there. Nice big double rail line for supply. Our eventual destination was Krakow. I don't know if we're going to go that way. because I'm obviously worried about this First Army, and let's be honest, this is a gaping hole. Holy smokes, their left flank is just, massive. So I think what we're going to do is kind of hop, skip, and jump over here, completely over onto this side of the river, and see what happens with the First Army here. They're going to come up towards here, but I do not want to engage them. Sorry, but that's just the way it goes. Like I said, what I'm doing with the Russians is that I'm playing the fact that to each his own kind of thing. There's going to be far less coordination with the Russians than with like the intra-army whatnot. So that'll be that. Fifth Army, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I feel sorry for them. I mean, they're getting encircled. Oh my gosh, what do you do? Yeah, I thought about this for a while. I may change my mind again, but I'm sorry, but you can forget Schremschild or whatever. There's no way in hell I'm even considering going south. Like that's over with for Fifth Army. We're just going to try to save our bacon. There's no way I want components of the Fourth Army and First Army getting behind us, cutting off our lines of supply, and being heavily engaged with the Fourth here. Forget it. So what I'm going to do here, let's see if I go backwards. Maybe. Oh, sorry. You can read the things, or mind you, like I said, the camera's so bad you probably can't even see the writing. But yeah. So I'm going to try to skip over onto this side, and we're going to try to fall back a bit and see if we can at least secure Lublin. And yeah, it was like, okay, I got to pick which way I'm going to go here, and I don't want to go this way because it seems, no, forget it. We'll go here and yeah, stay this way. I think that's what we'll do. So we'll go up here, but sorry, there's no way. Schremschild's fine. There's this historical thing of being, of that fortress area being surrounded and a whole army being stuck in there for months on a time. It's not going to be happening in my universe. I can tell you that much. Unless something bizarre happens, and I don't see that. No, especially with the Austrian Second Army coming. So here we go now with the Russian 8th, Brusilov's army. Kind of neat, actually, and maybe I don't know if it's going well with his personality in a sense, but it's kind of a bit brash in a sense. But I think some of it was due to the fact that it was dictated with the Austrians deciding to stay and fight in Czernowitz, because all they wanted to do originally for the Russian 8th Army was to secure this flank here, their left flank, even though we're looking at it from the Austrian side. But the Austrians decided to stay and fight, so we'll have to deal with that. And before proceeding to Lemberg, wanted to deal with Stanislaw first. So this is going to be, we're going to have two big fights going on here, but there's the headquarters, so not too bad. Yet again, I have to relax here with cutting rails. I don't think there's engineers all over the place here anyways, but I want to get into that whole aspect of converting rail, and I like all the little minutiae of whatnot. I love this operational feel, I guess is what I'm saying. I think I've found my sweet spot for this type of games, even though I love playing less intensive, I guess I wouldn't say less complex or whatever, because the game upstairs I'm playing with Rob, we're still finding other layers of, I don't know, strategy or tactics or whatever the heck you want to call it. And, I'm sure most people would be like, oh, that's a beer and pretzels game and, whatever. But it's a ton of fun, and we're, still scratching our heads over things. So that's the way, that's how we're enjoying it. So, yeah, I guess you can see these, this 10 thing and 9 thing. Like I said, these are just my homemade force markers. And if you look over here, oh, my goodness, have the Russians got some... They've got some cracking good stuff going on here. Some really, that's a lot of guys. Like I said, I don't even know if this is coming out focused or not. Maybe someday, like I said, I'll invest in a better camera, but for now it's just not going to happen. I don't want to. Well, maybe I should just read the manual or something. I don't know. Okay, so that's it, I think. I'm really surprised I was doing the whole thing here. But yeah, I guess it's kind of like a mixed bag for the Russians. The northern sector, if that's what you want to call it, I find is relatively positive, and I guess, and then the Fourth Army's not too bad, but a bit hesitant. Fifth Army, oh, I'm sorry. Third Army, feeling really good, and the Eighth Army, yeah, not too bad. But we'll see what happens when the Austrian Second comes in. And boy, I'll tell you one thing: when I do the perspective, it almost seems like that should be like a theme song for them. When the Second comes or something, because it's going to change a lot of things. Okay, that's it.